Every high and crushing low taught me something invaluable: resilience. I began documenting my journey, recording every lesson and every step towards rebuilding my success and my mental, even if no one else was watching. I didn't know where this path would lead, but I had Frank, Rosario, and the memories of everything I built and lost, fueling my determination. What you're about to see is my journey, the highs, the lows, and every moment in between, captured during a time when I was all alone, but never defeated. I'm going to get back to being a millionaire. No matter what, I will make it.
How's it going, guys? I told you guys that I would start making more videos, and like I said, that's what I'm doing. So today it is my mom's birthday, and Erie's birthday, and Rosario's birthday. So a lot of birthdays today, same day. It is the 19th of September. It is 11:18 a.m. I'm going to the laundromat to go ahead and do some laundry for the first time being at this new place. So let's get into it, guys. Bitcoin right now is at $63,834, more or less. And Ethereum is around 20, almost about to break 24, I'm guessing. I can't really see my screen, so I can't really tell. But yeah, somewhere around there. I don't know if it's already broken 24, but I know Bitcoin is there. I need another phone really bad. So that way I can kind of continue this in such a nice manner. So if anything, that's going to be the next upgrade by next video. Or at least by the end of the month, sorry. So yeah, where do I go from here? I don't know. The transition has been very interesting, to say the least. Why do I feel like this is vibrating? I'll take you guys out. I think the transition has been like the biggest thing I've had to get used to. When I mean transition, I mean just basically trying to put myself back on single me mode, doing things myself, doing it all for myself. Whereas before I was kind of assisted, really, so it wasn't really living by myself. It's funny when you're in an environment, you kind of feel you know, it's like your body and your mind knows, hey, you're not actually alone. You're not actually doing this alone. You have a safety net. And I know here I don't really have a safety net. I don't have a backup plan for if things fall through for whatever reason. I don't really have that many assurances. I have a good head on my shoulder to figure out okay, this is what I need to do. This is probably when I need to do it. This is how I need to do it. But I don't have that plan right now, because that would have been an extra backup plan for what happens if something catastrophic happens. So the goal here is to just make sure something catastrophic doesn't happen. It's a 0.1% chance, somebody knocking wood. As long as I make sure I get the stuff that I need to get done in a timely manner, according to my schedule, don't spend too much, be more thrifty this month rather than next month, because I'm going to have more money next month. Those kind of budgets are what's going to make or break my descent into chaos, or my victory to the new world. I'm saying it like new world, but I mean my victory in this whole process, the whole reason why I made the vlogs in the first place. Yeah, and it's just one of those things where I have to make sure. I have to just make sure I'm on top of it, that I know what I'm doing and stuff. If there's car troubles or whatever, get it fixed immediately, know where I need to go in case of emergencies. Getting medical care is going to be my next priority for next month. Getting some of my small vacations out of the way, so that way I can just literally be to myself, and make sure that I'm good. Things like that, like just making sure that everything's aligned and that I don't fuck anything up for at least the next 6 months. And the reason I say that is because, yes, I'll definitely be trying to look for something better, because I don't think that this is 100% it. I'm literally having to work my ass off just to perform. Not that that's a bad thing, but I think the biggest thing that even I've had to question a lot of my coworkers and stuff like that is you need to know where your threshold is, right? You need to know where that threshold is between you putting in more work than is necessary for the job itself, right? I don't mean trying hard or anything like that. I mean just past a threshold. There's always a threshold for work. Whether you're driving or whatever, you're delivering Amazon boxes, at a certain point, it's like, wait, this is too much. Like, for example, when I was doing, I'm sure that you guys remember the vlog where I basically told you guys about how I was driving in Oakland, and I will never do that again with Amazon, because the amount of work that I was putting in was way over what needed to actually be done for my pay. And that was way over, right? And some days I went to like Dublin or whatever, and that was way less, right? So there is a balancing act with each single day and stuff like that. But what I mean is, sometimes you can also, if you've been at a job a decent amount, I would say like 3 or 4 months or so, you can kind of get an idea of what that overall weight is, right? Over like how much you put in versus how much you're getting back. And with inflation and everything like that, I do feel like, again, this is on the lower side. I'm only making about $17 an hour plus commission, which again takes about 3 to 4 months to even kick in. So my first big commission, I actually got commission today. So it was $110 for last month. That was my like, okay, I'm getting up there kind of month. So next month, again, is going to be a way bigger month. At 2,300 more or less. Might be less than that, but let's just say it's 2,300. That's going to be very interesting, I think, to kind of see how that plays out, because that's like a whole month's rent in one check, you know. It's not even counting like my actual monthly. So it'd be a really nice check to get. So, there's just a lot of stuff going on, a lot of interesting things, that I plan to do, and, I really can't wait. Like, I'm happy because, yes, a part of my mind is free with all the stuff that I was talking about prior, where, you know, I felt really just like somebody's little rat in a sense. And I use rat a lot. I might start using that term more, but I don't mean rat, but I mean like I don't like the feeling of being too confined into one thing. I like to explore. Like, although I might be a little bit more to myself, I do also like to want to spread out. I want to be able to go out and not feel like, oh snap, I'm not coming home at this time. I hope I don't wake anyone up, or I hope eventually I could bring a girl over or something, but that's not gonna in the scenario that I was in. It just wasn't happening like that, and it can't happen in this place either. But at the same time, if I wanted to get a hotel or something, I don't have to report to anyone. And I think that's my biggest thing. But also not having to worry about other things outside of my control, because before, just being there meant that there's some things that I could have done or I could have been in my control, and I don't like that feeling of being like, okay, I'm in the vicinity, but I'm not the one who's controlling this stuff. So I don't like being responsible for things that I'm not directly involved or in control of. And that was the whole issue with just being at the house. Being at the house meant that I had some kind of involvement, even though I never had any kind of involvement at all. So it's just one of those things. You have to really know your threshold in all aspects, at work, at home, your life. If you have friends that are basically wanting you to pay for a lot of stuff or wanting you to go out more often, you really need to know a threshold. I think that's really important with a lot of people, because people don't, I think a lot of people just don't know what that threshold is or what a threshold might look like. And I think, I just explained that. Yeah, a threshold is essentially, when you are doing more, kind of like a relationship, when you are doing more than the other party, the other person, or the job itself, whatever. So that's how I would put it. There's a threshold for everything. And even rent has a threshold, right? If you make $1 million, or no, let's say you make $10,000 a month, you're above the threshold. A normal person making five to let's say 3,000 to 4,000 is like average for rents and stuff like that. If you're making 10K, you're over the threshold. You don't have to worry about rent, right? So you're above the threshold. You're not working hard. You're just basically, the money's coming in, you're paying rent, and you still got loads of money to spend. And on normal foods, normal things like that, unless you're flashy and you have a very expensive lifestyle, which is where people get in trouble with having a lot more money, then your threshold is above, you're way above the threshold. And again, the reason why some people go broke or they struggle even by having this amount of money is because they want more. They want to live luxurious, or they want to live in style, which doesn't make any sense from my perspective. It just doesn't. It's like you can be thrifty and stuff like that, but also be rich. I mean, not thrifty, but I mean, like, you should know that you would be above the threshold. So it's like, economically, why would you want to go ahead and spend more for no reason? Unless you're getting an office that needs to be in a certain location or something like that, it doesn't make financial sense to go ahead and spend on things like Lamborghinis or Bugattis or any of this stuff. It just doesn't. Unless you're trying to keep your value the same, you're trying to put in assets, that sort of thing. If you're trying to go ahead and do that, that makes sense. But as far as like a living space, that sort of stuff doesn't make that much sense to basically, unless it has a required use. So rant over on that. But yeah, no, life has been good. It's been chilling for right now until next month. I think next month is going to be that up month, because again, once the trend of my commission comes in, once I can be consistent, which is something I'm working on, hopefully this month I get, I have $50 right now to my name on my commission, but hopefully that changes because pre-orders come in not too long from now. But it's one of those things where it's like, as long as I'm consistent, I should be fine. And after that, then I'll be juiced after a couple months, and then I'll look for a new opportunity. And if I can find that opportunity, then I'll go ahead and take it. Again, for those people who are like, oh, you're trying to find a new job in less than 6 months. Yeah, but guys, I'm trying to elevate this job. If you guys remember, this job isn't really what I wanted to do, right? I don't know if I said it in the vlog or not, but I was offered a manager position that was going to pay a lot more. But apparently the investigation didn't work out or whatever, and so I had to take this job anyways, because it was the only one at the time that I could take. It was the only opportunity that I saw, though. It's like, man, I'll just take whatever job I have, whatever job I can get. So yeah, in doing that, I kind of fucked myself, because there was another job open, but I never really applied for it. It was like $30 an hour, that sort of thing. But honestly, it is what it is. I'm not really gonna, like I said, you guys know me enough now where it's like, I'll take what I get, but I'm always searching. I'm always looking for something else. I don't think that's going to change, because it's one of those things where, again, I want that good balance where I'm above the threshold. I don't want to be too far above the threshold, right? With work, I want there to be some challenge. I want there to be some things that I can, I have to like think about, right? But I want it to be seamless, right? I want it to be something that I'd be like, okay, I mesh with this. I'm good with this. I'm very happy with this. and I feel like the work to load ratio is fine. Good example of that would have been Amazon, if I didn't have to drive all the time. Like, if there was when I was doing the Dublin runs for like $50 for like 3 or 4 deliveries, I thought that was very balanced for the most part. You were getting $50 and you were basically spending like an hour or so delivering groceries and stuff like that from Whole Foods. And something like that was good. Like, it was a very good balance. Like, you weren't paid on your gas, but it was decent because you were getting tips as well. So you're getting, like, let's say $50 here, and then like maybe $20 or $40 in tips, somewhere between there. So on each run, you were making roughly about $70. You minus the gas, maybe like $10, $15 or whatever, and you were still profiting about $60 for each run, which is good. And like an hour and a half, more or less, really nice. Obviously, the jobs weren't as consistent, but I mean, something like that would have been like a really good threshold, of course, right? So yeah, that's going on. What else do I have? Still doing the manga. I had to take a week hiatus off of pause to go ahead and just move and make sure I was good. I'm hoping to write more today, but again, my mind's still everywhere. So I found it a bit harder to write for the most part, at least this week. But I'm hoping that later tonight I can go in and put the pen to the paper and actually just write 5 more pages. It's the whole goal. Write 5 pages a week. Haven't really been able to do that this past week, but hopefully I can get there. So that's pause. Haven't heard anything back from MovieBot yet, but I'm sure that we're going to start talks later this month or early next month. Because we talked about how October would be a great month to start getting things rolling and figured out. I gotta wait until Ryan finishes his project before we start. So once we do that, then we'll be good. We'll move on. Ashley and her podcast, we just finished halfway through the website pretty much. Just got to do some tweaks here and there, and then we get to put in the pictures, the images, the bios, and whatnot. And then the animation looks like it's coming along well. Gotta wait maybe another week or so for that to get pretty well in, pretty processed through. So I'm waiting on that. And yeah, I mean, that's literally like almost everything. Again, I want to do so much more, but again, I'm so pressed on time and stuff. The only thing I could really find myself, working on right now is just pause. And yeah, like I said, I think canceling out all my other projects and everything else that I had in my head was probably the best thing that I could do right now, because it gives me way more focus on just, okay, write for pause, pay for pause, character designs, and keep on doing that until we have a full-fledged cast. Idea of the world and world building, some idea of the colors and the color schemes and stuff like that, and yeah, and really try to get focused in and locked down on pause, because again, this is going to be my magnum opus. This is going to be the thing that hopefully pushes us into the spotlight as authors, as artists, and yeah. No, I think that this is gonna go amazing. I'm just waiting for things to go. I'm waiting for all this stuff to kind of settle in, so that way I can go ahead and make sure that I'm set for that. So we'll see. So that being said, I think that's pretty much the end of everything. I'm still in crypto and investing and stuff, but I'm still waiting on all that stuff to really pan out, to really say much on it. It's kind of been direness for the past year. Crypto just went up just recently, but not up to where it needs to be, which is 72,000 before it really goes crazy. Bitcoin needs to go to 72. And right now it's at like 63, or probably gonna get 64 by tomorrow. But either way, it's not a place where I think it's gonna go crazy yet. I think after the election it's gonna start doing that. And so I'm making sure that I'm just basically small time investing, $50, $60 or whatever. I'm still getting paid in render, so if render appreciates, then you know all that stuff appreciates, so that's good. But as render appreciates, that means I can have more money to invest in other cryptos and kind of cycle all that stuff over to there as my little piggy bank for right now. Yeah, because separating my money right now is probably the best option. I've been separating it out so that way I don't get mixed up. So my rent payments are in one account, and my crypto payments and any kind of extra stuff kind of go to crypto, but not fully to crypto though. But yeah, just making sure that everything's kind of organized so that way once I do start making a lot more money, then I don't really have to worry too much about, do I have enough or whatever. So I think using separate accounts and doing things that way, like if you guys have 2 different accounts, put your rent in one, and then put everything else in the other, so that way you really know, and let them be separate accounts, not like a checking and savings. Have it be 2 different like checking accounts or 2 different cards or something like that. That way you never get confused. Yeah, so I'll do my laundry. You guys take it easy. Peace out.
What the fuck is going? Is she on crack cocaine? Hold up. Is she on crack cocaine? What is? So if you thought the video was good, please give it a like and share. It really helps. And don't forget to subscribe so you can see the rest of the story unfold. This project is so close to my heart, and your support keeps it going. Thanks so much. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time in the archives of a Shiba Millionaire.
Consistency of work. Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better. You do that over a period of time, not like 1 month or 2 months. I mean, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And then you can get to where you want to go.